Welcome to Good Evening KU Sports. I'm Jaden Hill, your host for all things in the sports world. Spring has sprung and our favorite fair weather sports are in full swing. After sweeping Houston just 2 weekends ago, KU softball was placed on the receiving end of a sweep this weekend by OU. KU came into the series 7-2 in Big 12 play and was ready to grab some more wins, but unfortunately came out empty-handed. Caroline Spaeth will give us a rundown of the game and what to expect in KU softball's future. However, KU baseball has had a lot more luck. Their most recent series against BYU ended in a 3-game sweep for the Jayhawks. This was a huge for the program and shows some serious potential for the coming season. Emma Noble is here to give us some game breakdowns and a 360 view of the Jayhawk baseball. What do you got for us, Emma?
Thanks, Jaden. Happy Monday, Jayhawks. The sun is shining, the weather's nice, and opening day for the MLB was a grand slam last Thursday. Baseball is officially in full effect. But today, I want to keep things a little more local and talk about KU baseball. Now, the Jayhawks have already had quite the season this spring. In their most recent matchup against BYU, the Hawks had a huge 3-game sweep, clearing the Cougars from any confusion on who the better ball players are. Also, I think it's really important to note that this game was the Hawks' first 3-game road sweep since 2014. Now, the series at Miller Park started off extremely strong for the Jayhawks as they allowed only 1 run for the Cougars throughout the entire game. The final score fell at 11-1. And the Hawks definitely carried that winning momentum on into their doubleheader the next day. Their second game ended a whole lot closer than the first. Volge threw his 3rd consecutive quality start for the Jayhawks. Jake English and Michael Brooks had 3 hits in a multi-RBI effort for a 2nd consecutive game. Both teams were scoreless through the first 3 innings as both starting pitchers were cruising. That did get broken up in the top of the 4th when English hit a 2-out solo homer to give the Jayhawks a 1-0 lead. The scoreboard kept climbing and BYU kept competing, but eventually they did fall short to the Jayhawks with the end score being 4-3. The 3rd and final game started off a little slow, with both teams not seeing home plate for the first 3 innings. In the start of the 4th, the Jayhawks were able to make contact with Ben Hartle's RBI to score Ashby, and Collier Canford's sacrifice fly added another run to make it 2-0. By the 6th inning, the Jayhawks found their groove and stuck with it, going on a 4-run stretch that put the Hawks up 7-0. But the Cougars battled back and put up a fight in the bottom of the 6th when they also scored 4 runs. Easton Jones of BYU hit a solo home run, adding 1 to the score, but luckily that just was not enough for the Cougars, and KU took the final win with the score being 7-5. Now, I have to talk about star player Reese Dutton because he absolutely balled out during his time in Utah. Dutton pitched a career high of 12 strikeouts against the Cougars in his first game. He pitched for 8 dominant innings and allowed only 1 run as he threw 106 pitches with 75 strikes. While pitching, Dutton has won the Jayhawks 6 straight games, which is the most from any KU player since 2003. The baseball team's next game is this Wednesday against Wichita State at 6 p.m. at X Stadium. The Shockers have an overall record of 18-9 and will be serious competitors for the Jayhawks. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this ball recap sesh. That's all for me, and I'm going to throw it over to Caroline for a rundown on KU softball.
Thanks, Emma. This weekend, KU softball faced off in front of a sold-out crowd at home against the #1 team in the country, OU. The Sooners came into the series undefeated in conference play and with only 1 loss under their belt this season. They are an incredibly impressive team with an all-star roster and plenty of high-level experience. The Sooners have won 5 national championships since 2016 and finished runner-up in 2019. On top of all of that, they have won the last 3 national championships in a row. Their head coach, Patty Gasso, has definitely built an empire at OU, as she's been at the helm for every championship win in program history. With this powerhouse program as their competition, the number 24 Jayhawks had their hands full and unfortunately came up short, losing all 3 games against the Sooners. On the bright side, though, they had some great moments that showed their potential this season. In their first game of the series, Haley Kripe initiated a fantastic double play off a ground ball from Jada Coleman. In the bottom of the 7th, Campbell Bagshaw was able to get one on the board for the Jayhawks by crushing one over the heads of the Sooners for a home run. The final score for Game 1 was 6-1. Game 2 was definitely a rough one for the Jayhawks, getting crushed 17-0, but they came back stronger in the final game of the series. Catcher Lyric Moore kept the Sooners on their toes and was able to catch a runner stealing for the 9th time this season with this beautiful throw out to Crite. In the bottom of the 6th, freshman Abby Carsley got her first career home run and the first run of the game for KU. With bases loaded, in the bottom of the 7th, Presley Lambeau hit a single to left, letting 2 runners in to score. The game ended 7-3 in favor of the Sooners. The Jayhawks will next take on the 21-13 Cornhuskers tomorrow night in Lincoln. Nebraska is another solid program that is undefeated in the Big Ten. In their latest series against Wisconsin, the Cornhuskers were able to sweep the Badgers. Senior Sydney Gray is one that KU definitely needs to keep an eye on. She has started every game for the Huskers at third base and has already earned the title of Co-Big Ten Player of the Week for her performances. Against Wisconsin, she had 4 hits, a double, 3 runs scored, and 3 putouts, all season highs. Team captain Billy Andrews is another huge name for the Huskers. Going into the season, the senior was ranked by D1 Softball as the 42nd player nationally and the 5th shortstop nationally. In 2022, she was Nebraska's Female Athlete of the Year as a sophomore. She has also earned the NCAA and Big Ten Player of the Week titles this season and has multiple school records under her name. With talent like this, tomorrow will no doubt be an exciting game to watch. Luckily, with the Jayhawks' fresh experience against the #1 team, I think this game could be a potential challenge for Nebraska. On April 5th, KU will travel to Ames to take on Iowa State in a 3-game series before traveling to Lubbock to play Texas Tech on the 12th. That's all for KU softball today, and I'll send you to a quick break.
Yeah, I always just clap in this part.
This is where everyone's talking amongst themselves. Do you know how to do it? Do you know how to do it?
Are we supposed to smile?
When do we start? Somebody over here already started.
Can we talk about the piccolo part's the most complicated one?
It is. If you listen, you're doing it when the band's not playing.
You have to tell me when it starts. I still don't know.
Here we go. Just clapping now. No humps. Nailed it.
I practiced this morning.
Mine was just 2 people.
It has a right and a wrong way of doing it. No. No. Wrong.
I like my way better.
I don't know how to do the end.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's just I don't know the head.
That's great.
It's hard by yourself.
Now that we have the info on KU baseball under wraps, let's see how you all do with the professionals. Cooper Hannon has once again curated a quiz, but today is another baseball quiz, specifically about opening day, which was only a few short days ago. As always, I encourage you to play along and get in the zone for the 2024 baseball season. Cooper, take it away.
What's going on, Jayhawks? Today, I'm back with another MLB game show, this time opening day style. I'm your host, Cooper Hannon. Now let's go and meet our contestants. Who do we got? We have a new face right there. Who is it?
Hi, I'm Emma Noble. I'm super excited to be here today. It's going to be a great, great competition.
And I'm Tyler Brewer, and I'm 0-4 now, looking for my first win.
Tyler, do you have any different strategy that you're maybe going to use to maybe get yourself a victory today?
You know, I did research by not paying attention to my classes on Tuesday and just only watching baseball. So
I love to hear it. Well, let's stop wasting time and let's get right to question 1. Here we go.
Okay.
Who hit the first home run on opening day this year?
Buzz. Give me
Tyler?
Give me Mike Trout.
I was going to say
Mike Trout would be correct.
I was going to say
He hit the
Mike
home
Trout.
run against the Baltimore Orioles. It was a long bomb to center field and really got the fans going happy. It was a great game. Well, actually it wasn't, but. Question 2. Who hit his 5th consecutive opening day home run, breaking an MLB record? Emma?
That's got to be D. Bryce Harper.
A little too confident there, Emma. Unfortunately, That is incorrect. Tyler, would you like to take
I'm
a steal this point?
I'm gonna guess that it's the former Cardinal, Tyler O'Neill, B.
Yes, you are correct again. It is the former Cardinal. He is now on the Boston Red Sox, and he did hit his 5th consecutive home run to start the season. Tyler O'Neill. Question 3. Which team did not win on opening day this year? Top 4 answers are on the board. Ooh, I'm going to say that deserves a rock, paper, scissors.
Deal, okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh my god. Oh, I win.
Okay, Emma?
I'm going to say the Mariners.
Wow, the Mariners are, in fact, correct.
Woo!
2-1 game. Emma, you're coming back. Hey,
Yeah.
it's not over.
I'm in it.
Who said it was over?
Not me.
Question 4. Which team only had 1 hit on their first game? Now, hint. Well, let me finish the question first. Hint. This team, unfortunately, did not play on opening day due to a rain postponed. Emma, I did see a buzz. I'll give you that.
Thank you. I'm going to go with the Mets.
Mets, once again, is correct. They only had 1 hit, which happened to be a home run from Starling Marte.
Watch that.
So here we go. Going into question 5, 2-2.
2-2.
And hey, it's anyone's ball game. Tyler, what's going on?
You know, I'm just letting her have a chance.
What the heck? No, he's not. He's trying.
I love this little adversity we got going on. Let's move on to question 5. Which team put up 12 runs in 1 inning on opening day? Tyler, let me finish the question.
He has to finish the question.
So I will give you the option to answer this question, but next time maybe work on that one.
I'm gonna go with C, the Diamondbacks.
The Diamondbacks, unfortunately, would be incorrect.
Buzz.
I just kidding. It's April Fool's,
Oh
folks.
my God.
Tyler did get that point.
I was so nervous for a second.
It is the Diamondbacks. They put up 12 runs in the 3rd inning. So Tyler, you are now up 3-2, going into question 6. Emma, you can still turn this around. You know there's another question, 2 questions coming up.
Okay.
Which game went into 12 innings on opening day? Emma?
That's gonna be the C, Cardinals versus Dodgers.
Nope, it's not.
Cardinals versus Dodgers would be incorrect. Tyler, you seem a little bit too jumpy there. You have the answer now?
Yeah, give me a A, the Pirates and Marlins.
A, Pirates versus Marlins would be correct. They did go on to 12 innings. It was a wild game, but now we are moving on to the bonus question. Tyler, you've had some problems with the bonus question in your past.
It's my biggest rival. We just don't get along well.
Emma, stay sharp. Stay motivated.
Question.
Yes, answer. Yes.
I know from previous shows the bonus question's worth more points.
Yes.
How many points is this one worth?
This bonus question, luckily for you, happens to be worth 3 points.
Let's go.
However, since Tyler is up by more than 2 or more points, he has the first answer to the question.
If it's gonna help me or not.
What?
So, question 7, the bonus question.
Wait,
which player hit a home run on opening day in 2018 on the very first pitch of the season?
I get to go first.
What? Who made that rule?
It's in the rule book, actually.
Oh, okay.
You know, I'm gonna play the man here, not the game. And I know Coop is an Angels fan, so I'm gonna guess Mike Trout. I don't know though.
Well, you guessed wrong. Emma, you have a shot to steal and win the MLB opening game show.
Okay.
Think long and hard.
Which player hit a home run on the first pitch of the 2018 season?
Can we get the Jeopardy music going?
Yes, you only have 10 more seconds.
I'm going to guess D, Starling Marte?
Starling Marte is incorrect. Tyler takes home his first victory as it was Ian Happ. Tyler, how do you feel and what is going through your mind right now?
I've never felt happier than this moment right here. I proved my fans correct. I told them I'd win, and I found a way to win. It was a stiff competition today, but the better player won.
The better Emma, what do you have to say to that?
I would just like to say, if you would have me back, Cooper, I would love to compete against Tyler again.
I think you got to go against Chen Wu. He runs this show.
True. No,
right, well.
I'm nervous of him. He would totally blow me out of the water, but I feel like I can compete with you. So if you would have me back next week,
yes,
I'll put on an even better performance.
It was a great game, and I hope you guys stay tuned until next week because we do have I do got a couple more tricks up my sleeve for this upcoming games.
Days later.
Welcome back, and I hope you enjoyed some midday trivia. I know I sure did, and I love to see that Tyler finally got a win under his belt. I know we were all waiting with anticipation. Now, I don't mean to bring the energy level down, but we are going to talk about KU basketball. Luckily for you, we won't be reliving the sorry excuse for a postseason, but looking ahead at the possible Jayhawks transfer portal moves. Tyler Brewer is here to guide us through these predictions and give us some hone in on some much needed things coming up in the season. Speaking of basketball, Colton Kennan is going to give us a report on women's hoops. Tonight we will see the Elite 8 matchups of LSU versus Iowa and UConn versus USC. These matchups will be huge in the world of women's basketball, and you won't want to miss them. For more details, Colton, take it from here.
Thanks, Jen. MLB is in full swing and Men's March Madness is wrapping up, but let's not forget about these Elite 8 matchups tonight for the women's tournament. First, at 6:15, 3-seed LSU and defending national champs will take on maybe the best player in college basketball, Caitlin Clark, and 1-seed Iowa. This will be a rematch at last year's national championship game, and Iowa will be back for blood. Last year, the Tigers defeated Clark and the Hawkeyes 102-85. And if you remember anything from that national championship game, there was a lot of trash talk. LSU's captain, Angel Reeves, was a big leader in the trash talk in last year's game. The two teams haven't met this year, but it will for sure be a great matchup. Iowa likes to shoot logo threes and score from the outside, and LSU likes to pound it in the paint. There's no title on the line this year, but there is a trip to the Final Four. National Player of the Year Caitlin Clark knows there will be a lot on the line tonight, and she knows that multiple logo threes will not be enough to prevail over the Tigers. Clark averages 31 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists per game on this season, and she basically is their offense. Clark needs to be perfect to take down LSU's great defense, and on the LSU side, Angel Reeves averages 19 points of her own, and she is ready to defend Clark. It'll be a fantastic one-on-one battle tonight with everything on the line. LSU defeated 14-seed Rice and then 11-seed Middle Tennessee in the first 2 rounds, and the Tigers' first true test in March was against number 2 UCLA. LSU beat up on the Bruins by 11 points, and they cakewalked their way to the Elite 8. Iowa secured the number 1 overall seed, and their path to the Elite 8 was pretty easy as well. The Hawkeyes defeated Holy Cross, West Virginia, and Colorado all by double digits to make the Elite 8. This will be one of the matchups of the year, and I personally think LSU will slow down Clark and defeat Iowa for the 2nd straight year. The madness will be far from over after the first game, though. After Iowa and LSU face off, 3-seeded UConn faces off against 1-seed USC. Now, this is a tale of 2 programs. UConn has been dominant in women's college basketball for multiple years, including 28 Elite 8 appearances, and USC has only made 18 March Madness appearances, and this is actually their first Elite 8 appearance since 1994. UConn is led by one of the best players in the country, Paige Bueckers. Bueckers averages 22 points and 5 rebounds a game. Bueckers has had 20-plus points in every game this tournament, including a 32-point performance against Syracuse in the round of 32. Before playing Syracuse, UConn defeated Jackson State in the first round, and after the win against Syracuse, UConn beat Duke by 8 points in the Sweet 16. For USC, the Trojans are led by another top player in the country, Juju Watkins. Watkins has torched defenses all year from inside and outside. She averages just over 27 points a game and will be looking to attack UConn's defense all night. USC took care of business in the first 2 rounds against Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, and Kansas. The Sweet 16 wasn't easy for USC, though, as they only beat Baylor by 5 points behind a 30-point performance from Watkins. Tonight will be one of the biggest nights for women's sports that we've ever seen, and it starts at 6:15 when the madness begins. While we wait, though, we're going to send it over to Tyler for some KU basketball transfer portal news.
Thank you, Colton. And yes, as we all know, KU's basketball season is over. However, it's not all that bad, because now people like me can sit in front of you and try and predict what off-season transfer portal moves the Jayhawks are going to make. One big addition that's made headlines since he entered the portal is Riley Kugel. Kugel is a former 4-star guard coming in at 6'5", and since he's announced that he's transferred from the University of Florida to go play for Bill Self and the Kansas Jayhawks. Kugel averaged 9 points per game with the Gators, but it was his finish to the season that really allowed him to stand out, as over the past 10 games of the season, Kugel averaged 17 points per game. Adding a guy like Kugel is huge, not only for depth, but it adds another difference maker to the roster, which Bill Self has said he's after. Another player that would be great to add would be Zeke Mayo out of South Dakota State University. The 6'4" guard is a Lawrence native who averaged 18.8 points per game while shooting 39% from the three-point line last season. The Jayhawks will have some tough competition for Mayo, as he not only announced his transfer from South Dakota State, but also has declared his name for the NBA draft. Personally, I believe that if the NBA doesn't come calling for Mayo this year, then Bill Self and the Jayhawks would be a great option for Mayo to go back to. One team that's gotten hit hard by the portal is Rutgers. They've already had 5 players announce that they'll be transferring to play somewhere else. Now, that sucks for Rutgers, but I couldn't care less, because that means Bill Self will be able to work some of his recruiting magic on a guy like Clifford Amorie. Amorie is a former 4-star recruit who comes in at 6'10", 230 pounds from Nigeria. He's averaged 10 points and 7 rebounds per game over his 4 years at Rutgers. The latest update I've seen regarding Kansas and Amorie is that he's scheduled a Zoom meeting with the team sometime later this week or maybe next week. If Kansas is able to get Amorie to sign with the Jayhawks and pair him up with a potentially returning Hunter Dickinson and KJ Adams, the teams would be looking crazy going into next season. But that's going to be all from me today. I hope you enjoyed this edition of my Kansas basketball recruiting update. Now let's send it to Jaden to close out the show.
Thanks, Tyler. And that is all for this edition of Good Evening KU Sports. Follow us on Instagram at GEKU_sports and tune in every Monday at 3. Rock chalk, and we'll see you next week.